We got another pick. President-elect Trump has chosen Charles Kushner to serve as U.S. ambassador to France. Charles is the father of Jared Kushner, who is married to Trump's daughter Ivanka and served as a senior advisor in Trump's first term. Alicia?
Thanks, Griff. President-elect Trump is already announcing energy policy plans he intends to roll out immediately upon taking office in January, including his promise to declare an energy emergency on day one. Reuters reports his energy policy could also include the approval of new export permits for natural gas projects and increased oil drilling off the U.S. coast and on federal land. So for more on this, let's bring in C3 Solutions president and co-founder Drew Bond. Drew, so good to see you. Before we get started on energy policy, I'd like to talk a little bit about the breaking news about the Canadian Prime Minister making that surprise visit to the president-elect, and he's under a threat of a 25% tariff. Considering that Canada is one of our top energy trading partners, as is Mexico, the Associated Press wrote this. Listen. Trump's bid to boost oil supplies and lower U.S. prices is complicated by his threat this week to impose 25% import tariffs on Canada and Mexico, two of the largest sources of U.S. oil imports. The U.S. oil industry warned that tariffs could raise prices and even harm national security. Do you have any concerns on this?
Yeah, well, thank you, Alicia. It's great to see you. And, I think in general, I think we have to remember that Canada, our northern neighbor, is truly a friend. And I think what Trump is trying to do, I should say President-elect Trump, is trying to do is really shift the paradigm here. As we've seen, he's very good at making some strong claims and forcing some negotiation into some areas where there hasn't been negotiation in the past. And so, I mean, clearly, as an organization, our organization believes in free markets. We believe in more freedom, not less freedom. We believe in more trade, not less trade. But that trade's got to be on firm, fair footing. And so I think what we'll find is that in the end, the result of whatever President Trump does, I think will ultimately be good for Americans and be good for Canadians, frankly, and for all of North America. And this is a huge energy security issue, as you know. And we really need to have our supply chains shored up with our allies. We can't do it all on our own. Yes, we want to have energy dominance, but we've got to have strong free trading partners.
Well, and Trump has also tapped Chris Wright for Energy Secretary. He's the CEO and founder of Liberty Energy, which is here in Colorado. You're familiar with Wright's views on where he believes America could go with its energy policy and security. What can you tell Americans?
Yeah, I mean, I think Chris is one of the most exciting cabinet picks that I've seen so far. I got to know Chris. We were actually on a panel at an energy conference in Colorado, and then I went and visited him at his headquarters at Liberty Energy in Denver. And then he wrote a foreword for us. Our organization, C3 Solutions, has an annual report called Free Economies Are Clean Economies. And that report shows how economic freedom leads to a cleaner environment. And not just by a little, but by a lot. So countries that are economically free are twice as clean as countries that are not economically free. And so Chris wrote a foreword for us for that report last year. I can tell you that not only is he qualified, but he's just a strong, charismatic leader. A lot of the folks on the left have gotten concerned about, his past statements on climate, and they tried to throw a litmus test on him as to, how much does he really care about the climate. I think the reality is Chris understands technology, he understands energy, he understands geology. And when you look at his background, he's got an MIT education, he's got a Berkeley education, he's got one of his previous companies actually helped develop all the software technology that unlocked the fracking revolution in the world. And so he's truly an all the above and below person. When you talk to him, this just comes through just through his heart and through his words. When he thinks about energy, he's absolutely, he wants more energy, not less. We want more competition, not less. And look, he serves on the board of a small modular nuclear company called Oklo. And so these are like solar in a box type, nuclear in a box type companies. But he's also like, pro-solar. So he's going to be for energy where and when it works best. And so when you look at, the cabinet members, I think between him and Governor Burgum at Interior and then Lee Zeldin at EPA, those three, that's like the trifecta of climate, energy, and the environment. And frankly, President Trump, whether he wants to or not, might go down as the best president for the climate because, we've been spending more and more money trying to invest in technologies here in the United States when what we need most is we need to cut red tape. I mean, President Trump has said drill, baby, drill, and now it's time to build, baby, build.
Well, we will be watching. Wanted to get your perspective. And also, folks should know you do come from a clean energy perspective. You were also an owner of a solar energy company. So it's nice to get your thoughts in here. Drew Bond, so good to see you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe.